Okay, so get this right. A book. A book that's been whispering secrets for centuries, in an unknown language, no less. It's captivated codebreakers, historians, oh, and don't forget armchair detectives, everyone, really. And today, we're taking you on a deep dive into the world of the Voynich Manuscript.
Perplexing is right. I mean, just imagine, okay, imagine holding this book. It's beautifully crafted, 240 pages of vellum, vibrant illustrations, the whole works. But here's the catch. The script, totally unlike anything we've ever seen. It's like a linguistic enigma, been stumping the world's best minds for over a century.
A real puzzle lover's dream, huh? What about those strange plants? Almost like root systems, but
Yeah.
they have these like bizarre growths on them. And then the astronomical diagrams. I mean, they kind of look like galaxies, constellations, but there's something, I don't know, something off about them, almost unsettling.
Like looking into an alternate reality, the laws of nature, the rules of language, all different. And then there's the biological section.
With the women?
Exactly. Imagine this. Detailed illustrations of women. Some, well, they appear pregnant. And they're submerged in this green liquid, connected by tubes to, we don't even know what. It's the most relatable section, oddly. But still, so many questions.
Like the illustrator wanted to give us something familiar, but then, bam, mystery. So before we, before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's talk about the big question. Is this whole thing a hoax?
A question that's haunted researchers forever. But the more you look into it, the less likely it seems. Look at the craftsmanship. The book's meticulously made. Expensive materials, vellum. That says serious intent, right? Not some prank.
Right, yeah. Someone would have to be really dedicated to go through all that.
Exactly. And the handwriting is consistent. The illustrations are intricate. It all points to a deliberate, purposeful creation. Then there's the linguistic analysis. The text, it actually conforms to Zipf's law, meaning the frequency of words follows patterns. Patterns you see in natural languages.
It's not just like random symbols.
No, not at all. The word frequency, it aligns with the illustrations and with how the book is divided, the chapters. There's structure there, coherence, not something you'd see in a made-up language.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see why the hoax theory doesn't work. But if it's not a hoax, then what is it? A complex cipher? Or maybe a lost language? Something we just don't know.
Let's explore those, shall we? The ciphered text theory is a popular one, and for good reason. I mean, even military cryptographers, the best codebreakers, they've tried and come up empty. It's possible this cipher is beyond anything we've ever seen.
But what about that word, the one they found that seemed to mean female?
Yeah.
In Italian, right? I thought that was a big deal.
Yeah, there was some excitement then. The word fit the pattern of the Italian word, and it was next to illustrations of women, so it seemed to make sense. But when they tried to use that as a key to unlock other parts, just gibberish.
So close. So what about the lost language idea? Something that,
History's full of them. Imagine a language, unique grammar, vocabulary, spoken by a culture that left no other trace. The Voynich Manuscript could be all we have left.
that's kind of eerie, actually. Makes you wonder, are there people today who are descended from this lost culture, totally unaware?
An intriguing thought. And then there's the most mind-bending possibility, an artificial language, a code, but predating computers.
Ancient coding. Wow. But if it follows human logic, wouldn't we have cracked it by now?
The million-dollar question. The fact it's remained undeciphered suggests we might be missing something. A key that unlocks everything.
Maybe that key is hidden in the past.
You know, you might be right. The history of the Voynich Manuscript is fascinating. It wasn't always a secret.
What do you mean?
Well, Rudolph II, the Holy Roman Emperor, he acquired a copy, probably this one, and he paid a fortune for it. Millions in today's money.
Wow. An emperor paying that much. It must have been important.
It means at some point, this book was understood. It had an author, a purpose, but now it's indecipherable.
So we have this book, beautifully made, potentially centuries old, filled with an unknown script and bizarre illustrations, and it was once so valuable, an emperor wanted it. But now, centuries later, we still don't know what it means.
The mystery that fascinates and frustrates.
It really does. And as we go deeper into this deep dive, we'll be exploring some of the most compelling theories and attempts at deciphering the Voynich Manuscript. You won't want to miss it. We're back, still trying to unravel the Voynich Manuscript and before our moment. We were talking about how it wasn't always a mystery. Someone knew what it meant. It was even valuable enough for an emperor.
Yeah, the historical context is just as fascinating, really. I mean, Rudolph II, a powerful and intelligent guy, that he wanted this book. tells you something.
For sure. Makes you wonder what was in it. What knowledge could be so valuable?
That's the question, isn't it? Some people think it was a repository of secrets, maybe even forbidden knowledge.
Ooh, forbidden knowledge. I love it. Tell me more.
Well, you see, Rudolph II was interested in alchemy, astrology, esoteric subjects, the kind of stuff the church didn't like. So maybe he saw this book as a key to unlock the mysteries of the universe, the dangerous ones.
I can see that. Adds another layer of intrigue, right? But okay, let's not get too carried away. We've talked about the hoax theory, ciphers, lost languages, even ancient codes. Any other theories out there?
There are a few, more speculative though. One that some people like is that it's a message from aliens.
Aliens. Seriously?
I know, it sounds crazy, but they point to the illustrations, especially the astronomical ones, like the author knew things they couldn't have known.
I guess I see that. The pictures are pretty strange.
Right. It's more fun than a shopping list, I'll say that.
Totally.
But even if it's a long shot, it makes you think about the limits of our knowledge and the possibilities.
Okay, so aliens aside, what are the experts focusing on now? Are we getting closer to cracking this thing?
Well, researchers are trying everything. Historical analysis, linguistics, computer.
Can you break that down? Like, what are they actually doing?
Sure. One thing they're looking at is the structure of the text. It's not just random. It has sections, illustrations, themes.
Right, and the word frequency aligns with those.
Exactly. So they're using statistical analysis, looking for patterns in word frequency, word length, how they're combined, anything that might suggest grammar or syntax.
So they're trying to, like, reverse engineer the language without knowing what the words mean.
Yeah, basically. It's really challenging. They need to know linguistics and computer science. They're also comparing the script to other writing systems, ancient and modern. Some think it might be shorthand, where symbols represent whole words or phrases. Others think it might be related to some lost family of scripts.
So there might be a Rosetta Stone out there.
We can hope, but even if there isn't, this whole quest has been valuable. I mean, it's sparked new interest in cryptography and pushed the boundaries of what we know about language.
Like a giant puzzle.
Right.
Even if we never solve it, we learn so much by trying.
Exactly. It reminds us that there are still mysteries out there, things we don't understand.
And speaking of trying to understand, after, next, we'll look at some of the most notable attempts to decipher the Voynich Manuscript, from the brilliant to the bizarre. So we're back and ready to dive deeper into some of the attempts to decipher this crazy Voynich manuscript. I can only imagine. Some of them must have been pretty out there.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't believe some of the theories. One of the earliest ones, and pretty controversial too, was by a guy named William Newbold, a philosophy professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
Okay, I'm listening.
Back in the 1920s, he said he'd cracked the code. He said the manuscript was written by, you're not going to believe this, Roger Bacon.
Wait, Roger Bacon, the scientist, the one who was way ahead of his time.
Yep, that's the one. Newbold said the manuscript contained all these groundbreaking scientific ideas and that Bacon had encoded them to hide them from the church.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So was he right?
Well, not quite. His theory didn't really hold up. Other scholars looked at his work and they said his decipherment was based on subjective interpretation and forced connections.
So it wasn't real science.
More like imagination.
Bummer. But hey, at least he tried, right? What about more recent attempts? Have we had any luck with, modern technology?
Yeah, technology has helped a lot, especially artificial intelligence.
Aye.
Yep. Researchers have developed these algorithms. They can scan the text, look for patterns, and compare those patterns to known languages.
So like a supercomputer playing linguist?
Pretty much. They haven't fully deciphered it yet. But they've learned some things about the structure, like some algorithms can identify word boundaries and grammatical structures with pretty good accuracy.
That's something, right? At least we're making progress. Any other cool tech being used?
Oh yeah, there's multispectral imaging. Basically, they take pictures of the manuscript under different kinds of light.
Light.
Yeah, different wavelengths. It can reveal things you can't normally see.
Like hidden messages.
Exactly. They've used it on all sorts of stuff. Ancient scrolls, paintings. Sometimes it reveals whole new layers of information.
That's amazing. So with all this, all these smart people, all this technology, are people hopeful? Do you think we'll ever understand the Voynich manuscript?
There's definitely hope, but also a lot of realism. Some researchers think that with enough time and the right tools and maybe a little luck, we'll crack the code.
Every code can be broken, right?
Right. But others think it might stay a mystery forever.
I guess that's possible. But even if we never figure it out, there's something beautiful about that, isn't there? The idea that there are still things out there that we just don't understand.
It's a good reminder to stay curious, keep exploring, never stop asking questions.
I love that. So to all you listeners, if you're as fascinated by this as we are, go check it out online. There are tons of resources. Explore the script, look at the pictures. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to crack the code.
And maybe in 100 years, someone will be doing a deep dive into your work.
That's a cool thought. But until then, the Voynich Manuscript remains a mystery, a beautiful, perplexing mystery. And we wouldn't have it any other way.